Huzzah. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Livepeer Orchestrator community call. We're here with a bunch of the Livepeer orchestrators to do a couple different presentations, some cool things they're working on. Nothing from the core team this year, so it's all community led, except for me, but I'm hardly going to be saying anything. So we're going to start off, and we have a couple Livepeer orchestrators who are going to present a initiative that I believe 8 orchestrators are working on together of a new community transcoding pool. So, Mark, are you starting off?
Yeah, Pon was supposed to jump in. He's having some issues with his mic, so Mike, if you want to jump right into it.
All right. There you go. Take it away.
All right, hang on, let me share my screen. Okay, everyone see?
Looks good.
Yep.
All right. So, hi everyone, I'm Mike Zuper. I'm representing the video miner pool today. As Steven said, there are 8 of us, 8 orchestrators. You'll find us on the Livepeer orchestrator board. We have a list of our names and things that we can pass around, but it's the 8 of us, and we are here to just talk about what we're doing, why we're doing it, what we're trying to solve here. So jumping right in, what is it? Why are we here? What is this whole thing about? So as we said, it's 8 of us, and we figured, looking at the landscape, there was definitely some room for a high performing orchestrate or pool. And again, we're watching everyone as they're implementing their stuff, and the 8 of us, we have these grand visions of taking over the Web3 platform, right? I mean, Livepeer is one of the areas where we've all come together, but I think we have with our experience in the community with Livepeer, right, and collectively we all come from different backgrounds, right? We're all on different continents, all different places around the world. I mean, for myself, I'm a 20 plus year software architect, designing distributed systems and working on highly available, highly scalable systems. So when I look at video mining, right, as a pool, this is a cool challenge, a cool problem that I think we all looked at it and said, let's bring our skills to bear and make it happen. So that's what it is, why the 8 of us came together, and some of our motivations. But again, when we look at it, there was a real problem we saw, right? Like, I'm not going to re-bullet here, but we look at it as, we want to be enterprise class, right? We don't want it to be a solo side project. We want to be able to go in there and serve the transcoders, right? Make sure that we can provide reliable payments, accurate payments. So always up, transparency, all of the things that I think folks come to expect from a world class pool. So, and I think that's part of why we started here. What's our solution, right? Again, to us, transcoders are our customers, if you will, right? We're here, we're providing a gateway to the platform, allow folks to earn some ETH, get some payouts, providing GPU to the network, all the great things, but we want to do it secure by default. We want it to be modular, right? We have an aggressive roadmap coming up with a lot of things that we're going to be implementing. And again, these are some of the key factors to why we want to make sure that we can serve those transcoders. And then again, the other part is we're going to be multi-continent, multi-time zones. We have geo-distributed team already. So from a support perspective, we can respond immediately to any transcoders having issues installing, getting set up, or maybe there's orchestrator problems or payout problems. I think just having that dedicated team available to be there is a key part to the solution. And we mentioned here, some open source. Again, we're not here to hoard all the secrets and keep all the knowledge. Again, anyone that wants to build a pool, or they want to, we're going to provide some of the building blocks, all centered around Livepeer, obviously. But again, a lot of this technology, a lot of the stuff we're building is going to be, out there for the public. From a protocol perspective, right? I mean, again, there's some things that we would consider our secret sauce, but the one thing is, from a pool perspective, we want to make sure the transcoders are who they say they are, meaning, you've an established token that you can authenticate with the system, right? Malicious transcoders or poorly performing transcoders, they're not going to get in, right? We don't want somebody who's going to make the quality of the product, the actual transcoding to go down. So we're putting in some things in place from a protocol, or at least from the software perspective, to focus on security, make sure the pool is secure, authentication. And also, we wanted to keep the payment processing separate from the actual streaming and all of that. So we can keep track of all of your transcoding minutes as a transcoder, what you're doing and how you're doing it, but the payout system is separate from the actual streaming part. And again, it just gives us the flexibility to change those components without having to, alter Livepeer every time we want to make a move or add some additional functionality. So and then you see the last point there in terms of custom transcoder selection criteria. Again, as we start to tweak this system, we want to eliminate a lot of the complexities and a lot of the confusion around how much work did I do, how much am I going to get paid, and and making sure that the highest performing transcoders are getting the work, right? When the work comes in, we want the highest quality product. So these are some of the things that we've done and are looking to do going forward. Again, what do we need to succeed? And I think this is one of those hard, open-ended questions, right? I think for us, the 8 guys, the 8 orchestrators are here, and we're not going anywhere. I mean, in fact, for myself, we believe long-term crypto, right? This is Web3 platforms, integrations. For myself, it's running ARB nodes. I think for Forts Koonsman, some of the other members running the community ARB node. I think we all are sharing grants and publishing education, and I think for us the success is going to be just doing what we're doing now, working hard, not looking for trying to get rich or anything like that. We're literally trying to solve a problem and work hard. And you see here, delegators, they're going to come, right? Transcoders are going to come. The community support's already there. Folks are jazzed up about it. We're in the Livepeer Discord talking about it. We're getting, it's just one of those things where as long as those things are in place, everything else just continues to work. But it all is based on us doing our hard work. And then a little bit of hopium goes a long way, right? And nothing wrong with dreaming and wishing and hoping. So next here. And last, I guess, the closed beta. So we have a closed beta going on right now. Folks can go to the website and sign up. I think we're looking to cap it at 10 transcoders to get started. We're still, innovating and we're moving fast here. So, you know, downloads, beta, all the stuff that anything you want to know about the pool, why we're there. You could even get a look at the dashboard. We already are active as a transcoder, and I think some of the 8 are currently transcoding, but you'll see more of that. Payouts are working. I mean, it's all it's in there. So again, I kind of went through a lot of that stuff fast, but I know that we have a small portion here in this community call. And again, Stephen, thank you for inviting us and being able to hear what we're doing. And again, if there's any questions or anything, we'd be more than willing to get an AMA going and spend some more time dedicated around the actual details. I mean, we have a lot of content to talk about, so we're more than welcome to do some more discussions. And again, feel free to jump in the Discord. Folks are jumping in there now and come on in. So again, thank you, Stephen, for allowing me to present. I'll stop if you have any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. No, if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I had a couple myself. So is the you said the beta test is going right now. Is it full, or are you still looking
No,
for
it's not
people?
full. We're we're out there trying to get public, getting the ears out. So the site's up, and we've been actively discussing it, but we're still looking to get some more folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so as
we're oh, go ahead,
okay.
Pon.
Yeah, so sorry for being late. I had to jump through 3 different browsers to get on. Um, so as Mike mentioned, we have registration open for beta testers. We're hoping to start onboarding them in next 2 weeks. We just want to get our house in order first before letting them to jump on.
Great. And
And
then if anybody signs up to the beta and doesn't get in, are you just saving them for round two?
we're gonna let them in on round 2. We just want 10 people first to test it out, make sure it's working before we're gonna go fully public with it. We just don't wanna let half baked product to the public.
Yeah, and I would say
Yeah, I mean,
even
everyone on the
for
list will be considered, right? And unless there's some sort of technical or real issue with their setup, I think for the most part, we will, as we get this 10 and we work through some of the quirks, we're gonna open it up to the public.
yeah, the general idea is to have the transcoding the selection criteria in place so that I mean, even if we onboard 200 transcoders, we know that the highest performing ones are getting the work.
Excellent. So we got some questions in the chat. Sidebar, loving that we have chat that's working this time. Way better. Thank you, Beam. But anyway, so Dob, whoever that is, asked, or said he knows the top regional score of 48% on the Livepeer Explorer. Is that accurate, or any milestones coming up soon to get that up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Do you want to take this, Soup?
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, look, right now we're looking at the balance of cost and availability, and we're also doing some beta testing. So I think the score probably took a hit or two with some of the software testing we've been doing, getting prepared for this, beta. But I think that we are going to add additional nodes geographically. I think we're running 2 regions now. We were beta testing with 4, but it just didn't make sense. So we're always looking at rolling out additional areas, and again, it's going to be dependent a lot on some of those success factors, right? Like the staking is a critical component to getting streams and getting work, right? And being able to serve a lot of transcoders, we're going to need a lot of streams to do that. So it's a delicate balance, and I think you'll see all of these things over time are going to start to continually expand and improve.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that a little bit. We are technically in like a closed alpha, and we've had a lot of builds being released, a lot of tweaks that we've had to fix. So that score on the leaderboard is definitely not an accurate representation of how well the pool can perform right now. It's just we're working with a lot of moving pieces internally.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned on that.
Yeah, it looks like we had a response in chat as well. We introduced an authentication system yesterday, which requires all transcoders to update and reconnect. So we had some downtime. Makes sense as well. Another question we had from Titan was what language is it built in? Also got a response in chat. A variety of languages are being used: Go, Python, Rust, JavaScript, React.
Well,
And
I'll talk
also,
specifically to that though. I think,
yeah, go ahead.
the important thing to mention here, as we said, we have 8 unique team members that all have different talents and backgrounds and skills and whatnot. And then we all know that Livepeer is written in Go, so we've done a lot of work in Go to make this thing, um, you know, to make Livepeer accommodate some of the things that pools need. And then if you look at Python, Rust, JavaScript, React, I mean, again, it's a whole bunch of things, but it's not a hodgepodge. It's literally, bringing the solution that makes the most sense to bear for the problem we're solving. And I think with my experience as a software architecture, having these languages allows us to keep, good talent. If we need to start building this out or open source, we'll find a lot of folks that are using these languages. And I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, great. And yeah, also had the response, the entire system is designed to be modular and language agnostic, really more of a microservices architecture. So same thing you'd said.
Plug and play, right? Plug and play. We're going to, in whatever components we can release, in whatever patches we can apply to Livepeer, we're going to be pushing that stuff so that we can continue to make Livepeer modular, but keep this pool modular.
Love it. And then another one, is there a GUI, a GUI on the map or on the roadmap?
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
I
it is.
I
yeah,
would
there
say
absolutely
yeah,
is a couple of
absolutely.
things.
We have a really nice installer for Windows. We're working out a couple of kinks with it, mostly to do with patching. But yes, a GUI is definitely something we want in place, at least for Windows. We kind of hope that if you're running on Linux, you have some technical knowledge enough to run a script and get things working that way.
That's right.
Love it. Okay. Yeah. If anybody else has any questions, I highly suggest dropping into, I'd say, Orchestrator General on the Discord. Everybody's pretty much prowling around there. And if you want to jump onto the beta, the website is video-miner.com. There's a little part at the very top that says beta test, so you can go down there and sign up.
Cool. Thank you guys. Really appreciate everyone listening to us, and stay tuned for all the exciting stuff coming up. Catch you guys on Discord.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And there is a Discord for the pool as well. So if anyone wants to hop in there, feel free.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks for
excellent.
having us.
Yeah, for sure. Next, we're going to go over to Titan, and he will be discussing the startup grants. So I'm going to pass control over to you.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sound good.
Great. Can you see my screen? I used OBS virtual camera instead of the built-in thing. Will this work?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Great. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on today's call. Today, I'm going to be talking about the startup grant and kind of where it is and where I see things going. So just a quick overview. We've had a total now of 16 applicants go through the startup grant. And just recently, probably in the last 4 weeks, but the past month, we've had 3 to 4 more applicants join. So there's been a bit of a spike, maybe probably just in awareness of the startup grant. So that's great news. But we've had a lot of people joining the network as orchestrators for the first time, or people that didn't know about the grant that are now jumping onto it and using it. So a total of 16 since inception, which it started September of last year. So just almost a year and a half it's been in operation. And yeah, we have currently 16 total applicants that have gone through it and 3 that are currently going through it right now, receiving their stake and kind of just boosting their ability to get some transcoding work and get their feet wet and motivate them to do a couple of key things I think are really important for promoting high performing orchestrators. So if you have any questions about the startup grant, please throw it into chat as I go through this, and then I can answer any questions at the end. So real quick, what is the startup grant? For those of you that don't know, the startup grant was made about a year and a half ago with the idea of promoting Livepeer leadership as well as spotlighting high performing orchestrators. So the way it works is somebody completes a list of tasks. There's about 7 tasks. So they're pretty simple, but I think they're very important for making sure that the Livepeer experience is a good one for delegators, as well as the overall cohesiveness of the community, right? So simple things like making a website. You have to create an introductory post on the Livepeer forum. So, who you are, what makes you unique, right? Create a social media profile. It could be on Web 2 or Web 3 platforms. I actually should add Lens on there as a good platform to maybe start building out that web presence. Joining Telegram and Discord, getting your transcoding score above a certain threshold. This shows that you're actually serious about doing transcoding work and you're not here just for some free staking rewards. Listing, updating your Livepeer profile. So right now, there's actually, since we moved over, it was about earlier this year, we moved over to ENS profiles. As you can see, there's still a lot of profiles on here that are just ETH addresses, and they don't give much context around who they are, what they do, which is totally fine. It's totally fine to be anonymous, but it's really nice to have a profile where people can see maybe what you stand for, a link to your website, and updating your description. So, uh, and even a picture, right? So if we pick on Fort Koonsman for a sec, Fort Koonsman doesn't have a description. Oh, geez. Anyway, you get the point, though. You can see that there's a description here where people can read about you. There's a link and a title, maybe a picture. So promoting these kinds of things, I think, is quite important. And then lastly, have you helped someone else? Giving back is really important for a growing ecosystem. So these are just some of the things that need to be completed for the startup grant. You get about 4,000 to 10,000 LPT for about 2 months. So we've had quite a few people go through this successfully. It's great to see people are taking the opportunity to go through these steps, receive some stake. Yeah, and what's really important too is the sponsors who make this possible. So obviously, I was the very first sponsor. Big shout out to Varies for being a sponsor. DOB a sponsor. Adrian with LPT Node has been a sponsor, but we are currently looking for more sponsors. So if you have around 4,000 to 10,000 LPT and you want to stake, the max reward cut for orchestrators is set to 5%. So you're getting a good return on your LPT as a sponsor, but you are still giving at least 5% to that orchestrator for getting them up and going. So if you want to support the movement for helping people come in, please head over to the sponsors startup node grant application, where you just simply tell us how much you want to pledge and get listed on the sponsors list. Now, I'll quickly say that this has been an interesting experience. I think I want to give some context around where I think a lot of these people are coming from, because it's great to see that there's a program, but it's also interesting to see where orchestrators are coming from. And a lot of them have come from pools. So this kind of dives nicely into the last topic, which was a new pool in the ecosystem. It's really interesting to see the last applicant here. The last, I believe, an applicant that's currently going through, hasn't listed yet, is from the Titan Node pool. A lot of these applicants are from Livepool, which was kind of the original pool that got a lot of us started. So there seems to be this progression of coming into a pool, looking for that easy solution, maybe like a double click solution where there's very low barrier to entry. They come in, they get their feet wet, they understand a little bit more about the network, and then the people that are interested in proceeding, they kind of then look to start up their own node, and this gives them that incentive to do so. So there seems to be a bit of a lead where it kind of goes through, people find a pool, from there they find the startup grant, and then they start their own orchestrator node. There seems to be a nice transition and bit of a pathway for people to join the network. Whereas, not many people that come in that startup are very technical, that start up a node right away. They don't necessarily apply for the startup grant right away. They're kind of technical in their own realm. So it's interesting to see the people applying and joining and going through the process, and then slowly integrating them into the water cooler chats and these kinds of things. So I guess the main goal is to just make the new orchestrator experience a good one and give them some sort of roadmap, at least to get them up and running. And then from there, they contribute in their own ways, as most of the people in this chat obviously already do. It's really great to see the diversity of talents coming in. So, Great. Well, I mean that basically covers the update of the startup grant. It's really not much more to it. It's pretty simple, but I think very effective. So I'll stop it there and maybe answer any questions people might have.
Yes, we have one. Where's the link to the sponsor form?
Oh, very good. Let me share that in chat here. Let's copy this and throw it in chat. Papa Bear says, I see 5 of the 8 video miner team were recipients of the Titan grant. Yeah, so that's a great example of how the new pool is built around 5 of the people that went through this exact process of going through this grant and maybe getting inspired to continue on as an orchestrator and contributing in the community. So, yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much for pointing that out, Papa Bear.
Oh, it's actually 6. He missed Speedy. So 6 of 8.
6 of 8. There you go.
And then if somebody wants to, so that was the link to the form to apply. If somebody wants to be a sponsor, how would they go about that?
Of course. Here, let me send that link too. Yeah, we're looking for at least one more sponsor. Currently, between Varies and I, we've been able, like, because the applicants coming in are usually every few months, so it actually works. Between Varies and I, Adrian has been a sponsor in the past, but I don't know if he's still a sponsor. But yeah, we're kind of just looking for one more at least, just to come in and take, because we currently have organic node that is in line for some stake, and then I know at least one other person in the pipeline doing the actual application as we speak. So there'll be 2 spots available for stakers to come in, and then on top of that, like, these ones have started pretty recently, maybe 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago. So I guess they can wait in queue. It's not that big of a deal. The only other thing I wanted to bring up was the UI UX of the Explorer is a bit counterintuitive for the startup grant, because the very last page, you're listed as a new orchestrator for, I think, 90 days. And if the startup grant lasts 60 days, then you might have this stake, but you're kind of on the last page anyway. So, and that has been a new phenomenon. So I'm just kind of curious if that's a good thing, bad thing, or feedback from the community on what could be a solution, either from my end, or if there's a suggestion that I can make, because it's great to have this stake, but you get pushed to the back and there's not much information here with this new symbol. So yeah, just some thoughts.
Yeah, that's definitely something we can bring up. Well, we might want to
There'll
bring
be
that
a
to Discord
solution.
too.
I haven't thought about. I just thought of that like today. So, yeah. So, yeah, there you go. Can Video Miner apply for the grant? Pons, of course. Any orchestrator can apply for the grant.
We had Vera saying that they'll up their grant to 10K. So hey, this has already been beneficial.
There you go. Thank you so much, Varies. Well, even what we could do, maybe even just split it up into 2 grants, like 2 5K or 1 10K, depending on the demand for this. But maybe it's worth like having people wait a month or 2 while they get off the back page, and then giving them the greater amount, like 10K or something. So haven't really decided that. Mike says, are there any thoughts to adjusting the reward/fee cuts? What drives the requirement? So the fee cut for the orchestrator, so this is the ETH fees from transcoding. There is no limit on that, so technically people can take 100%. So I decided to leave that one alone, because people transcoding, there's probably not going to be much transcoding work to and that money could be used for startup costs, and I don't know, I just, less is more in some ways. So I haven't decided to regulate the fee cut, just because it's also dependent on like things like computer set up, like your setup and things that I just don't know. There's too many variables, maybe. But the reward cut, which is your the LPT, the new LPT that's minted. If you're staking 5 to 10k LPT, you chances are you want a decent reward on your staked LPT in terms of inflation. So if I think most people would be willing to give up 5% for for somebody to get their feet wet. But if it was something like 50%, I just don't think we would get any sponsors. I originally set it to at some point I set it to 0, um, but that turned out to be maybe a double-edged sword where it was no longer incentivizing people to go through the grant. But I also don't want it to be just free LPT you get from spending 30 minutes filling in a form and then taking advantage of sponsors. So I'm trying to find this balance of how do we incentivize people to do well in the network, but then also incentivize sponsors to come in and sponsor people who are actually going to be serious about providing high quality transcoding work for the end user, rather than some free airdrop of LPT if you do these steps, right? So it's not set in stone, but I think for now it's been a nice balance. So that's what we're going to stick with. Orchestrator must be less than 5% fee reward cut, and then no limit on the fee cut. So, Dob says, in my opinion, in my own opinion, is that I would welcome a higher reward cut so that the O can build up LPT ownership faster. Don't want to speak for the other sponsors though. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, this is up for discussion. It's an interesting. Yeah, we could. I mean, we could increase it, but I set it to 5% arbitrarily just because, yeah, get people going with the transcoding work specifically. This would be nice, Authority says. Mike says, yeah, it's a tough balance. Yeah. Varies. Smaller O's profit for a better Explorer placement, though, if they have a low transcoding fee cut after the 30 days. Yeah, and then just discussion in chat. Chuck says, the problem for smaller O is that they have to wait 90 days before they appear at the top ROI leaderboard. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not working closely with the people doing the Explorer. Obviously, this is just a side project. I decided to start up a year and a half ago because it was something that I wish I had. I wish I had some sort of roadmap to help me give me a foundation of what I should do next after I start up my node. So this was kind of that roadmap. Yeah. So I did it to scratch my own itch, if you will. Cool. All right. Well, that's if there's any more questions, I'll wait just 10 more seconds. Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much.
Amazing. So at the real quick, Dob had a final thought, good input on the 90-day issue. I think if the incentives are working optimally, new nodes could quickly demonstrate a high ROI due to transcoding fees, track stake, and there wouldn't be an artificial 90-day barrier before that's easily visible. So could bring it up, might have some shifts there. Certainly this helps get it in front of people who are working on Explore. But that's the end of the ones we had planned. If anybody has any questions about orchestrating, transcoding, the network generally, let's throw them in chat. We got some people who know quite a lot of stuff here. I'd be happy to answer them. If not, well, questions are potentially coming up. Always just go to the Discord. Orchestrator General, Orchestrator Support, two great ones to go to for this crowd. If you're a builder who's in this one, I'm just kind of curious generally, but as maybe an app builder, go down to the studio channels. That's kind of where all of your content's going to live. But yeah, any questions?
Just a shout out to Beam. This went really smoothly. It was awesome.
Yes, agreed. Yes, very easy to set up too. So very good for the Beam team. We'll definitely be doing the next ones on Beam. So. All right. Yeah. Well, then thank everybody for coming. Definitely, we'll be doing the next one in January. In the meantime, have a happy end of the year. Get started on your New Year's resolutions whenever that time comes, and we'll see you all again soon.